Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I'm here to review the Clone Wars sequel series, Star Wars The Bad Batch. Now, this takes place immediately after Season 7 of Clone Wars. If you've, I don't know if I reviewed I don't know if I've ever reviewed Clone Wars, but I am a big fan. Like, it's funny. I was not the biggest Star Wars guy because I was really turned off by the sequels. Not the sequels, by the prequels. I think the prequels are ass. You've heard my opinion on them. I think only one I think is remotely good is Revenge of the Sith. But at the same time, you know, I liked Force Awakens. I did not hate Rise of Skywalker. I know some people are correct. I didn't hate that movie. I didn't think it was great. I thought it should have been a bit more epic. And I got very mixed feelings about Last Jedi. So, you know, the sequel trilogy, it is what it is. So, but I've had mixed feelings about Star Wars. And the thing about Star Wars is that when I was younger, back in the day, before Force Awakens ever came out, when Disney had just kind of like, when Star Wars was popping up on the scene, Disney had, you know, it was they had Marvel and Star Wars, and people started like saying, oh, Star Wars is going to kick Marvel's ass. I kind of had a little tiny bit resentment towards Star Wars. But then when it became abundantly clear to me that they were no threat to Marvel, that's when I started to embrace Star Wars again. Then I started reconnecting with Seth. So at the same time, I started reconnecting with Seth, and then I started talking to Mark again, and then Seth and them were talking about Star Wars, and then I started to get back into Star Wars, and then I had this chunk of time where I watched all of Clone Wars up to Season 6, then Disney Plus came out, and then I watched all of Rebels. And I I loved Clone Wars. I had such an amazing time with Clone Wars because Clone Wars not only made the prequels better, just because it added more context to everything, including Anakin. Like, you got to slowly see Anakin become Darth Vader. You got to see how little things grew, how his emotions grew, how his you got to see the tiny glimpses into his heart, and you got to see more of Obi-Wan. You got to see more of Yoda. You got to see how Yoda even figured out how to do a lot of the things he figured out how to do. You get to see the birth. You get to see the how detailed and well thought out the Emperor's plan is before he executes his infamous Order 66. There's so much more detail. There's so much more. There's so much more you get to see. It emboldens the entirety of the prequels and the entire Star Wars mythos. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And came out with Season 7. I dug Season 7. But the thing but the Rebels did some more too. Like, I dug Rebels. The Rebels isn't as good, you know, for the most part, as good as Clone Wars. But, like, there are tidbits in Rebels. Rebels gets better and better and better the longer it goes on. And though it kind of has a softer edge to it because Rebels was, like, made for Disney XD, whereas Clone Wars was made for fucking Cartoon. I think Cartoon Network made Clone Wars, like, originally. Like, if I remember, Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network, and then it went somewhere else. And so Clone Wars and the animation on it's a little bit harder edged than Rebels. But Rebels, it got better. So I came into this already, like, hyped up on animation stuff, you know. Like I know, like in Mandalorian, I knew who Ahsoka was. I had seen Ahsoka. I had seen Bo-Katan. Like I knew all that shit because I had seen, you know, I'd watched Clone Wars. But getting into the Bad Batch. Bad Batch takes place immediately after Season 7 of Clone Wars. The moment that Order 66 is going down. Now, you meet the Bad Batch in Season 7, and they're the deformed clones. They're clones who were deformed, but their deformities are uniquely equipped to combat. So you got like Wrecker, he's physically tougher and he's super strong. And you got Echo, and you got like I said, you got Tech, who's like his brain is enhanced, and they're all deformed in more ways than one. Because if you notice, all the clones vaguely kind of look the same, even the way their hair grow is the same, but except them, like, you know, Hunter's hair, he's the leader, his hair is growing differently and longer and kind of longer out, and he has enhanced senses, and then you got you got they got a couple of them. We got the great sharpshooter. You know, he knows what he's doing. Crosshairs knows he's got enhanced, you know, stuff too. But he looks a little older and his hair looks different. Like they clearly something wrong with these clones. But they basically had deformities that were just uniquely equipped to be in combat. So that's why they kept them around. And you meet them in season, like I said, you meet them in season 7. They're fun when they show up, and they come in, they do their thing, and they're out. They're fun when you see them. But this entire show is around them and around how they respond to the Order 66. As you could imagine, it doesn't work on all of them. It doesn't work on all of them because they're deformed, and the chip inhibitor thing in their brains doesn't work the same as it does for the other clones. By the way, man, there's some good stuff near the end of Clone Wars, especially when we started getting to the chips and into the clones who find out about the chips. And like, man, there's some stuff at the end of Clone Wars, just how close people get to finding out what the hell Palpatine's doing. And like, every time someone would just get teeny bit close, something would happen, you know, because just the inherent problem, the only problem I have with the Clone Wars and all this stuff is, at the end of the day, you know, most of it doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they don't show up and help Luke, so they're not going to survive that. So either they don't survive that long or they're off doing something else. You know, same thing with Ahsoka, same thing with all these things. Like, they're just, you know, you're like, well, as cool as this is, you know it ain't going but so far. But anyways, this is still cool. This is still really cool, seeing the Bad Batch together. They're still fun together. The group has this nice dynamic, this nice, like, ragtag dynamic between them, but they know what they're doing, they know what each other needs. But the real story kind of, like I said, the story's about them reacting to that and like how they're unsure what the hell's going on. They don't know what the fuck's happening. They're just like, some Jedis just got, like, literally, some Jedis just got shot down. By the way, Caleb is in the beginning of this, and if you don't know who Caleb is, he is the man who taught Ezra Bridger, who grows up to teach Ezra Bridger, and you see him throughout the entirety of Rebels. So there's some real connectivity here. There's some real connectivity already, right off the bat. But yeah, they're just like, we don't know what the fuck's happening. Crosshairs, turns out, the inhibitor chip is working at him. Because he starts to repeat that phrase that was used, a creepy phrase, actually. A good soldier follows orders. And the way it's said is like, you know, like zombie. A good soldier follows orders. Like it's like, whoa, there's something off there. But yeah, like I said, dude, like I rather, so there's the tension there. There's tension there, especially near the tail end where he's with Tarkin. Tarkin shows up and he remembers them. Well, at least he remembers some of them. But like I said, it's really about that. It's really about their reaction to it. They meet this other clone, this other young lady clone named Omega, and they don't know. The mystery of her is still fascinating because we don't know what she was cloned from. Was she cloned from Jango? But it seems like she might have some force powers of some sort, instincts. We don't know. There's something unique about her, and like either there's something she's not telling us, or there's something the cloners aren't telling us. And clearly, the cloners don't really trust the Empire, as they shouldn't. And by the way, in a not so subtle way, they pretty much said that stormtroopers are completely Tarkin's fault. Because Tarkin was convinced that stormtroopers were better than clone troopers, but mostly to save money. Mostly because they didn't want to pay the goddamn cloners for the damn stormtroopers, so that's why they started using stormtroopers. Stormtroopers suck! So, like, I think that's pretty funny to me, that's literally the explanation for stormtroopers, is like, they're like, well, we could have used clone troopers, but we don't want to pay for that, so, you know, fuck them. So, like I said, man, like, this was fun. It was about an hour-long first episode, just a big introductory. I'm guessing they're gonna be on, are they gonna be showing these on Tuesdays or Fridays? Someone comment below, are these gonna be a Friday event, or are these gonna be a Tuesday event? Because I'm down for these being a Tuesday event. It'd be cool to get, you know, another day in there for Disney+. Because that's the one thing I've always been kind of like, it's cool having it. Like, because for me, it was cool watching Invincible and, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I actually kind of like that Mighty Ducks series. I was watching that too. So I was watching like 3 shows on a Friday. But I was like, you know, Disney+, you could scratch that out. You could have 2 MCU shows going at the same. I don't know. Maybe you can't. But you could. Yeah, you can. You can have 2 MCU shows going at the same time. Just put one on Monday and just put one on Tuesday and one on Friday. Boom. Because you put it on Tuesday, then it can kind of ride like Wednesday and Thursday. You know, if something big happens, it can ride Wednesday and Thursday. And then, you know, by the time it's starting to settle on Friday, boom, another episode of a new show. And then you get Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Like I say, man, I don't know. They gotta work something out. Cause you know, they can have these shows going simultaneously. Like they can have them going, you know, in the same week. Like that'd be just crazy, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine, like, waking up on Monday and watching, like, The Mandalorian, and then the next week you watching, like, fucking Loki, and then the next day you watch it, like, oh, man, that just sounds awesome. The more I think about it. Anyways, thank you guys for the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.